Good morning, everybody. Silas back again today. We are headed out to another farm cleanup. I am super excited for this one. There's all sorts of cool stuff out here, so I'm really looking forward to being able to clean this one up. Kind of freaked me out there for a second. I couldn't go over 45 miles an hour with my truck, and I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Is my transmission going out now of all times? I've got stuff I got to get done, because this is kind of high miles for one of these old automatics. And I thought, well, what am I going to do now? And I got to looking and checking, and my floor mat had curled up in a ball underneath my gas pedal, and it wouldn't let me push the pedal all the way to the floor. So I thought it was maxed out, but it wasn't even close to maxed out. So got that fixed, and I cruised down the highway 70 miles an hour, no problem pulling the skid steer. And we have arrived. Before we get started, I want to take a walk around, kind of show you guys what all is out here. There's a bunch of junk down here in the trees, down here in front of me. This over here is going to be our staging area, where we cut stuff up. It's good high ground, and the grass is cut short. There's already a burn pit right next to it, so I'm not too worried about fires. There's some really cool stuff that's kind of sad to cut up, but what do you do? Like this old here, this old Minneapolis Moline pull behind thrasher, still complete, just like they parked it, probably from the last time they used it. Pretty neat old stuff. Now there's going to be stuff on this that we save, like this old ship's wheel. That's going to get saved for sure, and we'll probably save that piece that says Minneapolis on it, and there may be some other pieces on here that we save. And then we got this old drill, this old conveyor belt deal, the old auger. Here's an old grain bin. We'll probably hang on to this. It says McCormick Deering on it. Bunch of just random scrap iron down here in the weeds. More farm equipment. Old 3-bottom plow. I had somebody asking about a 3-bottom plow the other day, so I may see if I can figure out who that was. See if they're still interested. Some old discs. Old chisel. There's an old packer over there. A scoop. A lot of this stuff we're going to have to bring a chainsaw to get out. This here I might be able to wiggle out once the loader gets here. Loader won't be here till this afternoon, so until it gets here we're going to have to do everything with the skid steer. Like this piece here has got that real neat wheel on the back of it there. We'll save that. And I don't have a whole lot of time to get this thing done, so we're going to kind of do a hack and slash job. Just grab and go, process it as quick as we can. Luckily, this job anyway, there's not that much stuff back in the trees. It's mostly drug out where it's fairly accessible. Here's a pile of random stuff here. There's a tractor seat we'll save, a couple iron wheels, that sort of stuff. But yeah, we can get the loader right through here, as long as we don't get any rain. Now watch, we haven't had any rain for a month, and as soon as we get started, it'll start raining. There's something back there in the trees we'll have to drag out. Here's another old pull behind. This one's got really good color on it, so we may save that bin off of it. This is another Minneapolis. I like that yellow color. This one here looks like it went through a tornado or something. It's pretty tore up. Or else a big tree fell on it. I'm not sure what that is down there. It looks like a remnants of a chisel or something. Yeah, we got all this here. I'll walk over here, and there's some more over here. Here's probably the biggest square baler I've ever seen. This thing is just a monstrosity. It's an old case. There's the eagle. But it's got a Wisconsin up front. This big old pulley on it. Here's where the bales come out. It's a big old machine. Case Systems baler. It's kind of neat. I've never seen one like this. Depending on what mood I'm in when we get to it, I may hang on to this and just take it out to my farm and park it in the trees. It's just a neat piece that you don't see very often, so part of me hates to crush it. There's just random scrap iron and farm equipment down here. Here's another one of those cool wheels. I've got a couple of those already, but might as well save more. It's too bad that M&M back piece there is all tore up. It's really pretty out here. It's supposed to be nice today and tomorrow, so gonna get as much done as we can before the cold hits. I wish it was springtime. I bet there are mushrooms galore out here. All these old elm trees that are half dead. There's a little bit of scrap iron back here. Not much there. But this looks like mushroom heaven out here. Don't see the cows today. Last time we were here, all the cows were right up by the fence saying hello. They must be snoozing somewhere. But check that out. That's just beautiful. I love the scenery out here in Kansas. Up here is where the work's going to come in. This is a little bit harder to get to, all this back here. But there's a bunch of junk down in here. Old buzz saw. I'll probably hang on to that horse trough. I need a bigger burn barrel for pallets and stuff like that, so I don't have to bust them up. So that'll be handy for that. There's a bunch of scrap iron through here. Bunch of wheels and tires. Whatever we can put in the loads, we'll ship into the shredder, and everything else we'll have to take home. I can't take the bare tires, but the ones with wheels and tires I'll take. Here's another old pull behind. This is probably going to be the hardest piece on the place to get out, just because it's not really accessible. This and whatever that scrap is down there, it looks like a trailer and some other odds and ends. There's an old disc over there. But yeah, all this stuff here is going to have to be drug out right through here, which I guess won't be that bad if I come in here and do a little bit of tree work. There's an old Ford chassis. Bunch of fenders. Other odds and stuff we'll save there. Here's an old barrel of some sort full of tractor seats. I believe the family wants to keep the tractor seats that are laying loose like that, which is okay. Bunch more just miscellaneous scrap, and here's where the cars start. This is a cool old one here. The truck itself does not go. The family's keeping it, which is kind of a bummer, but I mean, it's their stuff. They can do whatever they want to with it. It is a neat truck, that's for sure. Old half ton. I think it's about a 49 or 50. Might be a 50 model. It's still surprisingly complete. It's got some pretty serious cab damage back here. It's a pretty neat old truck though. Here's an old pull behind wagon of some sort. It's kind of interesting. Here's a couple Oldsmobiles. But check that truck out, just sitting there in the trees like that. That might wind up being my thumbnail right there. But I think one of these is an 88 and the other one's a 98. They're pretty rough. I'm sure they're just parts cars. Sitting down here in the leaves and weeds like this. Got all the trees dumped on top of it. These do go. Yeah, this is a Delta 88 here. I'll have to take out some of these small trees back here, drag them out with a chain with the loader once it gets here. Whoa, just about fell. Last tagged in, looks like 1988. That's about when all these vehicles were parked. It was back in the 80s. Here's an old Chevy truck, 3/4 ton. It's pretty stripped out, but there might be a few parts left on it. It does have a step side bed. It's pretty rusty, but maybe the fenders, even those are a little bit rusty, but it's got a few emblems. I don't know, there might be a few parts on it. Surprisingly, that front fender isn't that bad. So, I don't know, we'll probably hang on to it for now. Maybe crush it later. And then here's the old 98. Some miscellaneous scrap down there in the trees. But yeah, these here will for sure have to have this, the loader out here to be able to get these out, because that skid steer is not going to drag these things out of this dirt. There's bunches of scrap iron laying around in the weeds. Those old grain bins are pretty cool. They have the little things up on top of them still. Looks like a witch's hat. This old trailer doesn't go, but all the stuff on it does. Bunch of just little stuff in this area. I wish I had a dumpster here already, but oh well, it is what it is. Dumpster will be here later. But yeah, all these old buildings are pretty cool. Here's an old tractor, an old case. Check out the front end on this thing. This is the widest front end I think I've ever seen on one of these. It's crazy. But it goes. There's a bunch of miscellaneous scrap in this area that goes. And check out this old building. I've never seen a wooden grain building like this before. Just fascinating to me. Bunch of old skulls. It's really cool. It's kind of basically built like a barrel with the straps on it. Don't see them built like that very often. But yeah, a bunch of just miscellaneous scrap up here. Nothing good. Not in this area, at least. Another old building that's fallen over. I don't think there's anything in there. Here's some old radiators. Those go. And then check out the skulls. They said those were there when they moved out here. But I think there's a bunch of scrap iron in this barn. Yeah. Bunch of miscellaneous junk. That's a pretty good set of antlers on that one. This barn here, the structure of it's pretty good, just the roof is starting to come off. So they're actually going to re-roof that. Now that they're kind of revamping the farm, getting it cleaned up and that sort of stuff. Looks like some old pulleys over here. Not sure what all is in here. Old John Deere mower. I know they said that goes. This old stove goes. These lights go. Just miscellaneous scrap metal. So we'll just kind of have to go through here and we'll wait till they're available. That way they can kind of go through it with us. There's an old buggy seat. Huh. A little bit of scrap iron back here. Some old iron wheels. Not a whole lot right here in this area. A few wheels and tires, lawnmower, just junk mainly. Then over here, this old mower is just junk. So it goes. Here's another cool old truck. They're keeping this one. It's pretty well complete. Not a bad looking truck. Here's another old case tractor. See, this is the tricycle style that I'm used to. It goes, and then the old square body doesn't go. And there's a bunch of just miscellaneous scrap up here in this area. Some junk lawn mowers, junk four-wheeler, odds and that sort of stuff. And last but not least, probably the treasure of the farm. Abandoned in this garage for who knows how many years. We have a 1965 Impala. This is a pretty cool car right here. This is going to be a video all on its own, dragging this out later today. So I'm not going to show too much of it yet. That'll be its own video. So you guys will have to check that out. And in fact, I'll probably post that video before I post any other videos. Yeah, for sure check that one out if you haven't already. Just a little bit more scrap in this area. Probably do a little bit of tree work over here on these trees so I can get the loader through here a little bit easier. They told me any tree work I need to do is okay, because they're going to do a bunch of tree work themselves. Guess what the deal is on this out here, it was her dad's farm, and he said he didn't really want to get rid of the stuff, but once he was gone they could do whatever they wanted to with it. So he passed away, unfortunately, and they're going to revitalize it a little bit, make it a little bit nicer out here. I'm going to check this little building out. This seems kind of neat. I don't know what it is. It's falling over, so I got to be careful, but just kind of unusual. Oh, it's an outhouse. No wonder. Got 3 seats on it. Can you imagine sitting here in here with 2 other people? And people complain about small dividers in public restrooms. I've never seen a 3-seat outhouse before. That's like a deluxe outhouse. Now you kind of got a bird's eye view of the place, kind of see what I'm up against. It's not a real big place, but there's quite a bit of stuff crammed in here. Got my crew of guys here today, so we're going to get busy working. I'm going to film all this cleanup as its own separate vlogs, so I'm going to end this one here. I hope you guys enjoyed this walk around. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Keep checking back. This is going to be a fun cleanup. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook. Remember, I post a lot of cool stuff on there, but I'm going to let you go with that, so remember to get out there and find an adventure. We'll see you next time.